Good morning, students. Today we will be discussing lesson number 7, computer virus. So, what is computer virus? A computer virus is a software program that has the ability to make copies of itself and that attaches itself to other programs or files. In other words, it is a malicious software program loaded onto a user's computer without the user's knowledge and performs malicious actions. The first computer virus term was formally used by Fred Cohen in the year 1983. Now, what does a computer virus do? After entering a computer, a virus attaches itself to another program in such a way that execution of the host program triggers the action of the virus simultaneously. It can self-replicate, inserting itself onto programs or files, infecting them in the process. But not all computer viruses are destructive though. However, most of them perform functions that are malicious in nature, such as destroying data. Now, how the virus spread? The virus spread when the software or documents get attached to or transferred from one computer to another using a network, a disk, file sharing methods, or through infected email attachments. Now comes the question, what a computer virus do? A virus tries to take control of the computer system it has infected. It makes copies of itself and tries to carry out harmful tasks that it is programmed to do. In this process, it can happen so quickly that the user may not be even aware that a virus is present in the computer. Some viruses are programmed to activate themselves at a certain date and time. Such viruses check the system clock continuously and create havoc when the set time or date arrives. Now, different viruses do different things. A computer virus can infect executable program files such as word processor, spreadsheets, and operating system. It can also infect disks by attaching itself to special programs on the hard disk called boot records. These are the programs that the computer uses to start itself. It can also infect files that are attached to email messages or copied to disk and pen drives. In this manner, it can spread from one computer to another. Now comes the question, what a computer virus cannot do. A computer virus is a program. So being a program, it cannot do the following things. It cannot infect files on write protected disk such as CD-ROMs. It also cannot infect hardware like monitors and keyboards. It only infects software. So the main thing that is to be noted here is that it infects only software and not hardware. Warning signals. So what are the warning signals which a computer might give that it has been infected? So computer viruses are ongoing and evolving threat. Millions of computers around the world are infected with malicious software, also known as malware, and new viruses surface regularly. And it's for malicious software to infect your computer or device without you knowing. But how can you know that you have been a victim of malware attack? So there are several signs that your computer might show that it has been infected. Some of them are: the computer restarts on its own, the computer runs slower than the normal, unusual error message appear on the screen, you notice changes in file size, you notice that the hard disk has more files than it had earlier, applications take longer to load or do not work properly, the computer often freezes or stops responding. So these are some of the warning signs or signals, you can say, which the computer shows that it has been infected. Moving on to, how does a virus spread? Computer virus spread from one computer to another by transfer of infected data through emails, pen drives, or other sources. So in the early pre-internet days, viruses often spread from computer to computer via infected floppy disk. But today viruses spread via the internet. In most cases, applications that have been infected by virus code or are transferred from a computer to computer just like any other application. But the users or admins may be unaware that their applications are infected and will transfer or install them with impunity. Infected applications might be emailed. They can also be downloaded from an infected code repository or compromised app store. So these are some of the ways how a computer virus spread from one computer to another. Moving on to types of computer virus. So the computer viruses can be categorized in different ways. One of them is by their infection targets. If we group viruses by their target, we can divide viruses into the following categories: power viruses, boot viruses, and macroviruses. The first one is, it was program viruses. Program viruses infect program files which have extensions like .com, .ovl, .scr, and so on. Program files are attractive target for computer viruses because they are widely used and have relatively simple formats to which viruses can attach themselves. The viruses becomes active when the infected file is executed. Some of the examples of program viruses are Acid Rain, Alien 298, Amoeba, Sunday, Cascade, and so on. The next one is boot virus. So what is boot virus? Boot virus infects the boot records of hard disk and floppy disks. This is the type of virus which infects the master boot record. But it is challenging and a complex task to remove this type of virus, and it often requires the system to be formatted. The whole system has to be formatted to remove this kind of virus from the computer system, and it mostly spreads through removable medias. Some of the examples of boot virus are Danish boot, Devil 941. Moving on to macroviruses. As the name suggests, the macroviruses particularly target macro language commands in applications like Microsoft Word. So these are the type of virus which has a set of commands written by the user to be executed later. So some of the examples of macroviruses are Melissa, Concept, and Nuclear. Coming to malware. Now what is malware? Malware or malicious software uh, is a program that infiltrates and harms a computer without the user's consent. So a malware is a malicious software which that is harmful to a computer user. Types of malware can include computer viruses, worms, Trojan horses, and spyware. These malicious programs can perform a variety of different functions such as stealing or deleting sensitive data, hijacking core computing functions, and monitoring users' activity without their permission. So this is what malware means. Next is worms. Now what is worm? Worm is a type of malware. A computer worm is a program capable of reproducing and spreading itself to another computer system. So computer worms are among the most common types of malware. They spread over the computer networks by exploiting operating system vulnerabilities, and they are capable of reproducing and spreading itself to another computer system. Some of the example of worms are Code Red, Circam, and I Love You. The next one is Trojan horses. Now what is Trojan horses? It is also another kind of malware. Trojan horse is a program that appears useful, but it is actually programmed to pass the user's data to someone else. So a Trojan horse, in other words, is a type of malware that conceals its true content to fool a user into thinking it's a harmless file. And the main solution which can be done to prevent itself from Trojan horses is to install an effective security solution which runs fast. Frequent scan should be there, and it should alert you as soon as Trojan virus is detected. Some of the examples of Trojan horses are NetBus, Sub7, Beast, and ZS. Next we have spyware. So this is another kind of malware. Spyware refers to a computer program that secretly gather information about the users and relay it to advertisers or other interested parties. It is also called spy bots or tracking software. So a spyware is a type of malware that collects and shares information about a computer or network without the user's consent. Unlike other types of malware, spyware is heavily used not only by cyber criminals organization but also by unscrupulous advertisers and companies who use spyware to collect market data from the user without their consent. Next is spam. Spam refers to unsolicited, unwanted email which may carry advertisement or serve as a means of spreading malware like viruses and worms. But there are ways by which we can avoid spam. Some of them are: we should not give our email address to unknown people. Use the spam filter of your email program to block unwanted email. Delete spam mails without reading it. Preventing virus infection. Now the question comes, how we can prevent our computers from getting infected. We know that prevention is better than cure. So as to prevent our computer system from getting infected, some basic rules are there which we should apply to protect our computer from getting infected. Some of the basic rules to avoid virus infection are: restrict access to your system both uh, offline and online. Allow only trustworthy users to use the system. Install and use antivirus software, and it should always be updated one. Keep programs and data on separate disks if possible. Scan files that you have downloaded from the internet. Never click on link or attachment in an email unless the email is from a trusted source. Install an anti-spyware and a firewall program if possible. Now if you get any malicious script from a web page and you don't know what to do, or if a window appears asking if you want to allow an automatic install, always click on no. Antivirus software. Now what is antivirus software? Antivirus software refers to applications designed to detect and remove viruses from the computer system. So antivirus software is nothing but a data security utility which is installed in a computer system with the purpose of protection from virus, spyware, malware, trojan, phishing attacks, spam attack, and other online cyber threats. So the following is necessary for an antivirus program to be effective. It should run in the background all the time, and it should be kept updated so as to recognize new version of malicious programs. It should be capable of scanning attachments downloaded from the internet, and the user should run full disk scan periodically. This checks all files on the computer system. Some of the popular antivirus programs are Kaspersky Antivirus, Norton Antivirus, Quick Heal Total Security, about which we will be reading in the next slides, Microsoft Security Essentials. So this is what antivirus means. So antivirus is designed to detect and remove the viruses from the computer system. So the remaining portion of the chapter we will be discussing in the next video. Thank you so much.